Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling a problem that trips up so many people setting up a modern CI/CD pipeline, getting Jenkins and Docker to actually work together. If you've ever found yourself staring at a build log screaming permission denied when all you wanted to do was run a simple Docker command, well, this one's for you.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the why, then we'll walk through the actual installation, which is surprisingly easy. After that, we'll solve the one single permission issue that causes 99% of the headaches. We'll make sure our fix actually takes effect, and then, the best part, we'll prove it works.
So, first up, why are we even doing this? Well, think of Jenkins as the conductor of your automation orchestra. It tells everyone what to do and when. And Docker provides the perfect, pristine stage for every performance, a consistent, portable environment. Our job today is to give the conductor the keys to the stage.
So yeah, that's the core question, right? How do we give Jenkins this superpower? Because once we do, we unlock the ability to automate the entire life cycle of our applications, all the way from a code commit to a running container in production. It all starts here.
All right, let's get our hands dirty. The first step is to get Docker installed on our Jenkins server. Now, you're about to see a single line of code that does all the heavy lifting. It might look a little like magic, but I promise, we're going to break down exactly what every single piece of it does.
And there it is. That's the official, super efficient, one-line script to install Docker. Now, instead of just blindly copying and pasting this, which you should never do, let's actually understand what we're telling the computer to do.
The first part is curl. The easiest way to think about curl is that it's like a little web browser for your command line. Its only job in this command is to go to that web address, get.docker.com, and download the installation script that lives there. That's it.
Next up is this little vertical bar, the pipe. And this is where the real elegance comes in. A pipe is a fundamental tool in Linux. It takes whatever comes out of the command on the left, in this case the entire script that curl just downloaded, and feeds it directly into the command on the right. No temporary files, no mess.
And finally, we have /bin bash. This is the program that catches the script coming through the pipe. It's the interpreter, the thing that reads the script line by line and actually follows the instructions, installing everything Docker needs to run. So we download, we pipe, we execute, all in one go. And with that one line, we've installed the whole shebang. This isn't just one program, it's the entire Docker platform. You get the Docker engine, which is the core service. You get the Docker CLI, the command line tool we'll use to talk to the engine, and you get all the underlying bits and pieces like containerd.
Now, we never just assume it worked, right? We're going to do a quick sanity check. First, just type docker-version. If you see a version number, that tells you the command line tool is installed. Good start. But the real test is docker run hello world. This forces the Docker engine to actually pull an image and run a container, confirming the whole system is alive and kicking.
Okay, so Docker's installed and working from the command line. We're ready to start building images in our Jenkins pipeline, right? Well, not quite. This is the exact point where the real puzzle begins, and honestly, where most people get totally stuck.
This is that moment of false confidence. You've installed Docker, it seems fine, so you rush over to Jenkins, you write a pipeline, and it just fails. It all falls apart, and it's not always obvious why.
Yeah, not so fast. There's a critical but hidden permission issue we have to solve. And honestly, understanding this one little thing is what separates the pros from the people who are just copying and pasting from Stack Overflow.
So what's the deal? It all comes down to how Linux handles security. By design, Docker is a really powerful tool. Because it can control so much of the system, access to it is locked down. By default, only the main administrator, the root user, can talk to it. But Jenkins doesn't run as root. It runs as its own user, called Jenkins. And right now, that Jenkins user doesn't have the right credentials. And this command right here, this is the hero of our story. This is the key that unlocks the door. It's the command that finally bridges the gap between Jenkins and Docker. So here's exactly what's going on. Think of the Docker group as a VIP list for a club. Right now, the Jenkins user walks up to the door and the bouncer says, "Sorry, your name's not on the list." This command, usermod, is us telling the system, hey, add the user Jenkins to the Docker group's VIP list. Without this step, your pipelines are guaranteed to fail, period.
So we've put Jenkins's name on the list. But there's one final, tiny step we need to take to make sure the system actually recognizes this change for the Jenkins service that's already running.
We have to restart Jenkins. Now, why is this so important? Well, when a service like Jenkins starts up, it reads its permissions from the system and holds them in memory. We just changed the permissions on the disk, but the currently running Jenkins process has no idea. Restarting forces it to reread its permissions and discover, oh, hey, I'm in the Docker group now.
It's a really simple but absolutely vital step. The best analogy is getting a new security badge at work. The main security system knows you have new access, but you have to actually leave the building and swipe back in for the door scanner to recognize your new badge. Restarting Jenkins does exactly that.
All right, this is the moment of truth. Theory is one thing, but seeing it work is another. We're going to make a super simple Jenkins pipeline that does just one thing. It runs a Docker command, and the build log is going to tell us everything we need to know.
And here it is, the proof plain as day. On the left, that's the error that probably brought you here in the first place, that awful, frustrating permission denied message. But on the right, after our usermod command and a quick restart, we get clean, successful output. That's it. That's the win. Jenkins is now in full control of the Docker engine.
So at the end of the day, you've done way more than just copy and paste a few commands. You've actually diagnosed and solved a fundamental permissions problem, and you have a much deeper understanding of how these powerful tools work together. You've officially empowered Jenkins, and now your foundation is solid. The real question is, what are you going to build first?